What comes to your mind when you think of a Sanjay Leela Bhansali film? The palatial sets, the exquisite costumes, the exuberant dance sequences, and the grand canvas of storytelling. In short, every film of Sanjay Leela Bhansali is an extravagant affair. While these aspects of a Sanjay Leela Bhansali film are very evident and quite well known, there are many aspects to his movie making which not many people are aware of, such as his love for using water as a motif or his obsession with anchors. Apart from being a feast to the eyes, his films are also a study in symbolism. In this video essay, we'll try to dissect his filmmaking mind by analyzing recurring patterns across his films. An interesting motif which is omnipresent in Bhansali's movies is the motif of water. Bhansali uses a lot of water in his movies for symbolic as well as aesthetic purposes. Water is life. Bhansali uses water to emphasize on life. In Bajirao Mastani, the scene where it's revealed that Mastani is pregnant happens in a water fountain. Similar to the scene where Kashi drags Bajirao in water before revealing that a life is growing inside her. In Black, when Michelle learns her first word, it's nothing less than a new lease of life for her. This incident also happens in a water fountain. In Guzarish, Ethan's desire to return back to his normal life is embodied in his temptation of getting up from his chair and walking into the sea water. But is this motif of water limited only to the theme of life? No. It also extends to the theme of death. In Bajirao Mastani, it's raining during the funeral of Shiva Bhatt, like it's also raining during the funeral of Meghji and Kanji in Ram Leela. When the star-crossed lovers slay each other, their bodies fall into water. In his final moments, Bajirao experiences hallucinations and ultimately meets death while he is in water. In his self-destructive streak, Devdas also performs his own last rites in water. In Guzarish, Ethan's mother is buried in a cemetery beside a river. When Ethan suffers the near-fatal accident, this incident also involves water. Apart from life and death, Bhansali also uses water to emphasize on passion. Romance is the central theme of most of Bhansali's movies, and he uses water in scenes involving passionate moments between his characters. Basically, he uses water in all scenes involving strong themes like life, death, passion, sorrow, happiness. This recurring water motif mostly takes the form of rain or a fountain. A Sanjay Leela Bhansali film is incomplete without a rain scene or a fountain shot. His love for water motif is most evident in Black. When Michelle speaks her first word, it's neither mother nor father. It's water. In the climax of the film, Michelle ends up teaching the same word to her mentor, who has now lost his memory to Alzheimer's. Water is not the only element of nature which marks its presence in Bhansali's movies. Fire does not want to be left behind. Bhansali mostly uses fire to symbolize heartbreaks. Kashi is heartbroken when she realizes that her husband is in love with another woman and burns the curtain out of jealousy. A jealous Raj burns the letter which Sakina wants to deliver to her lover. Paro burns the letter from Dev in which he urges her to forget their relationship.
यही सोच लें कि हमारे बीच प्यार कभी था ही नहीं. हमारे बीच जो कुछ हुआ वो एक लड़कपन था.
The moon has a special place in romance in Bollywood, so Bhansali doesn't want to miss out on the moon either.
हाँ, बस यूं ही चांद को देख रहे थे. ये चांद भी ना, कभी इस बदली के पीछे तो कभी उस बदली के.
आज इतने सालों बाद ये चांद खिला है. डर था कहीं तुम्हारे होश न उड़ा दे.
इतना गुरूर तो चांद को भी नहीं.
कैसे करता? उस चांद पर दाग जो है.
तो ठीक है पारो, आसमान में चांद खिलने के बाद ही देखेंगे तुम्हारा चेहरा. देखे कौन होश उड़ाता है, उस चांद का नूर या तुम्हारा करूर.
His films also have song sequences centered on the moon.
देखो चांद आया, चांद नजर आया, खुद छुपा बादल में शर्मा के मेरी जाना.
Like Quentin Tarantino has an obsession with feet shots, Bhansali has an obsession with ornaments of the feet, payal and ghungroo. The female characters in his films are often seen wearing anklets. In Sawarya, Raj keeps Sakina's anklets as a souvenir. Chandramukhi and Mastani refuse to wear ghungroos and dance for the audience. Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam has a song sequence related to payals and ghungroos. Now let's talk about the color palette in his movies. Sanjay Leela Bhansali and Anurag Basu have the distinction of making most efficient use of colors and color grading in Bollywood. For every scene, Bhansali thinks about the colors, lighting and synchronizes it according to the mood of the scene. The most prominent example is Sawarya. With the exception of this one shot which has shades of yellow, the rest of the movie looks as if drowned in a sea of blue.
ख्वाबों का ये शहर दुनिया के किसी नक्शे में नहीं मिलेगा आपको ये, क्योंकि ये सिर्फ मेरे ख्यालों में है.
Bhansali has used the blue palette to give a dream-like vibe to this Khwabon Ka Shehar. To maintain this dreamy vibe, Bhansali hasn't even allowed a flicker of sunlight. All the events in the film happen after the sun has retired for the day. Also, dreams are often illogical. Notice how the hands of the clock in the backdrop are moving in anti-clockwise direction instead of clockwise, or how there is a huge statue of Buddha in a Muslim neighborhood. All of this is a careful setup by Bhansali to maintain the look and feel of a dream world. While Sawarya feels like drenched in blue, black feels like drenched in black and white. The black and white represent darkness and light, the major themes of the movie.
ये अंधकार हर वक्त हर पल तुम्हें अपनी गिरफ्त में लेने को बेताब होगा, पर तुम हमेशा रोशनी की राह चलो.
The costumes, the walls, the props, everything is either a shade of black or white. The color palette of Guzarish has shades of blue, black and white, and the color grading is done in a way to give a gloomy look to these shades, as if all the color has drained away from Ethan's life. The only time we see bright colors are during the happy flashback memories of Ethan, and during the scene where Ethan gets to step outside his house after so many years. Unlike these films, the color palette of Devdas, Ram Leela and Bajirao Mastani has bright colors. The events in these films happen in huge palaces and among a lot of wealth. The attire, the props, the sets are mostly a shade of red, green or gold. Whenever there is a murder attempt, Bhansali fills up the screen with red, the color of blood, like in this shot in Ram Leela, or in this shot in Bajirao Mastani just before the assassination attempt on Mastani. Bhansali for sure knows to speak the language of colors. Another technique that Bhansali uses in his films is long takes. The best example of this is the opening scene of Devdas.
देवदास वापस आ रहा है लंदन से. सच भाभी, बधाई हो बधाई. अरे सुना देवदास आ रहा है. मैं नहीं मानता काकी माँ.
The entire scene is filmed in a single continuous shot which lasts for 1 minute and 27 seconds. The camera follows Devdas' mother as she goes around the house rejoicing at the news of her son returning to India. Bhansali has done this to capture the excitement and energy in the moment effectively. This intense conversation between Devdas and Chandramukhi is also filmed in a long take of 2 minutes and 10 seconds, though it does not involve any complex camera movement. In Ram Leela, we have this shot which is filmed in a continuous take of 1 minute and 20 seconds. And in Guzarish, we have this confrontation which is filmed in a continuous take of 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Though this shot is not difficult to film as the camera is static throughout, the usage of this long take is wonderful. I think the reason Bhansali never cuts to close-up shots of Sophia and her husband and instead films this in a single shot is because he wants the audience to focus on the reactions of Ethan. While Sophia is getting manhandled by her husband in the backdrop, we also see Ethan's reaction change from peaceful to distressful because he can't do anything and can't even turn around and see what's happening. The continuous shot works wonders in capturing this change of reactions. Another recurring pattern in his movies is God's eye view shots. A God's eye view shot is filmed with the camera placed above the scene, allowing the audience a top view of the entire scene. Bhansali mostly uses this shot during dance sequences, allowing a full view of all the dancers on the floor. And coming to the last thing on our list, boat shots. These movies frequently have scenes of characters sailing in a boat. Guzarish, Bajirao Mastani, Sawariya and Devdas. In his career spanning 20 years, Bhansali has carved a niche for himself as the most visually stunning director in Bollywood. No one else comes close. He is also known for his no fucks given approach to filmmaking. He makes no compromises in translating his vision to the silver screen. Every single frame speaks of the sheer genius and meticulous approach of Bhansali. If there is a synonym for visual grandiose in Bollywood, it's Sanjay Leela Bhansali. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. This is a new channel and if you like our content, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. You can consider supporting us on Patreon, which would mean great encouragement for us. You can follow us on our social media pages to stay updated. We'll see you here soon with another video. Thanks a lot.